with that. Okay. I don't want to be here. Okay. So it's like, I'm not complaining because, like, again, this is a long standing thing, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, more than that. So that's my situation, just to clarify. Okay. And so, no, I'm not like wearing an EMF hoodie and like setting up, some campground here and obeying the law, which is basically Mike just doing drugs and just going on YouTube to talk about nothing, be around a bunch of other degenerates like him. No, hell no. Okay. What the hell is that? Okay, I don't want to be around a bunch of degenerates. I've already done that for a bunch of years. Okay. And no, the only thing that I'm thankful for in the last 4 or 5 or 6 years is to have something that was interesting to pursue, which was the Holy Bible, and then to read and to be able to play golf for leisure when I'm not doing that. And that's what I'm thankful for. I ate the whole roll. Okay. And it was sweet, but now it's bitter in my belly because I look around and I'm like, where's the righteousness? Okay. Where is that? Okay. And then people want to come by here and say, oh no, why don't you like align yourself with these other evil people? Why are you so mean to them? Well, I'm like, they haven't ate the whole roll. They don't understand what the Bible says. And so I want to separate myself from them while I study this book. Okay. And then those are people like Jack Burton and the other Satanists that come by my channel. And so that's, again, further evidence that I need to be separated from this place. Okay. Because it's incredibly boring and it's incredibly evil. And if that's not your situation, then, I wish you the best of luck. I'm not going to be angry or whatever. I'm like, hey, well, go, you found something productive to do or whatever, and you have found a safe place to be. I'm not going to be mad or jealous or whatever. I'm like, yeah, that's great. Go do what you're doing, be productive and, be safe, which is what I want for everybody, which is what I believe the kingdom will be. Okay. It's going to be an intellectually stimulating place, and it's going to be a safe place. Okay. And so even if that never happens, I'm like, that's something nice to think about, because wouldn't that be great to have that here? Wouldn't that be great? Wow. Where I can be stimulated. Imagine driving to your job every day. Oh man, I cannot wait to get to work so I can collaborate with these people and we can build something and then, give God glory and give him credit for it. Wouldn't that be amazing? Okay. And then you can like come home and then, watch your kids grow up, and then it'll be a safe place for them. They don't have to worry about, oh, you got a phone call, your kid was, raped and a pedophile did something to your kid or whatever. Every parent lives with that fear every day, and that can happen. Okay. And so imagine if we didn't have to worry about that. Okay. And so that's what the Bible.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video right here. Now, the reason why I played T-Mog, the Mind of God, in the beginning of this video, because it demonstrates necessarily how I've been feeling, regarding the world and everything surrounding it. Anything that's materialistic and fleshly material, that's just how I've been feeling in a short sentence, mind frame, or short, how would I say, in a short way to describe it. That's how I've been feeling lately. The more and more that I have been thinking about this and contemplating just my reality, because in my last video that I did like this, I talked about The Last True Rebellion, that documentary on the Eastern Orthodoxy Church, and people like what's his name, Brother Nathaniel something, that guy that keeps getting banned off YouTube, former Jewish member, I guess. I don't think he was in the in their congregations, but stuff like that. I was talking about that and how all that is nihilism. That kind of approach and outlook on existence itself. And as I said, the more that I've been contemplating and thinking about this, like, I've always thought about this. Like, I've always hated society. Like, I've always hated the world. I've always disliked material things. I live in the world, but I'm not of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am perfection. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am beyond the stereotypical boundaries that people still in the matrix subscribe to, such as, social media appearance, this, what my food looks like. Let me take a picture of it. This $40 salad. You know what I'm saying? Like, that kind of outlook, that illusion. Like, I am perfect. I am way above and beyond that. But residing in this, the societal structure just keeps getting to me. And I know I'm not the only one. If you understand what I'm saying. The mainframe that is in existence right now of societal norms, the downfall of the Western civilization, the bringing in of new institutions that throw out the old ones that were based off of realistic principles, based off of logic, and introducing insanity. Stuff out of like you can't even imagine. It's all demonic possession. So when I said, like, in my last one, I've been adopting more of a nihilistic approach, nihilism on the world, what they call black pill, but I don't like those labels. No, there's no red pill, there's no blue pill. All that shit's an illusion. People who still subscribe to the left and the right paradigm don't realize they're all being fucked with. But the people on the left are so downhill now that you have to side with the conservatives because they're the only ones with the moral approach on outlook on society. Now, if you want to talk to these Californians that talk about centralism, that's what it's all, is in play. Now, if I am in California, so I'm around, I talk to a lot of liberal-minded people. That's what's here. You know what I'm saying? So the people who are over in Texas and all these people that talk about liberals, they really don't know what they're talking about. You have to be around the people to understand what they're saying. Such as also with the conservatives. The liberals don't know what the conservatives talk about because they're never around them. You know what I'm saying? So I've asked many questions to, people on the left, and they don't even like the whole societal structure of our political system at all. They don't like the political structure. They say everything's centralist. They don't like Trump. They don't like Hillary. They don't like Biden. But their moral compass is where I draw the line. Now, the same can be said about the conservatives, unless you're a magician, MAGA. Then you subscribe to, Donald Trump and that whole Cyrus Persian persona, if you understand what I'm saying. But the more that I adopted this approach, the more I'm starting to see everything same. Like, I've always seen it as this. It's just become more clear. For example, I was at the bus stop yesterday, and then here comes this car. Like, it's like raining. You know what I'm saying? I'm under a bus stop waiting on the goddamn bus. And here comes this convertible with the roof down. Let's do its shades, blasting this music. I'm like, man, what it would take to be that? What it would take to be that motherfucker having money to afford that, driving past 3 homeless people starving on the road. I'm not saying he needs to take the initiative, to do that. Like, I'm just saying that as an example. Because there's politicians right next door to me, and there's millionaires like 2 hours away from me in the Bay Area. If you look at San Francisco, it's a cesspit of drugs. They now have clinics where you can go in there and they'll give you medical heroin. All right? And they're saying they're doing this to minimize people doing drugs. No, you're giving them a center to do the drugs. Now, growing up, I was always surrounded by drug addicts. Never around me, because my dad always kept me out of that. R.I.P. Big J. Just saying that's what the head is. But growing up around that, you begin to see stuff, such as when you grow up around a lot of tweakers. You're not necessarily a tweaker, but you develop the tweaker mentality because that's all you're around. Not necessarily, I'm saying I was always around that, but when you grow up in this side of Sacramento, that's all that's here. It's meth, you know what I'm saying, and heroin. So you see that. But going back to that though, yeah, San Francisco is doing that. But all these rich people in the Bay Area, all these $1 million, they have so much money, they could go out on the street and hand out not even hand out half of what they make. I don't understand why it's so hard to combat all this, starvarity that's going on in society. No, I'm not saying I'm a communist, because all that Marxist and communism is demonic. It's absolutely demonic. That's why that little mustache man drove out all those communists. Not saying what he does is right, and I'm not saying that national socialism is right at all. It's not. It's not at all. And I'm not saying socialism is right at all, because all those four things that I just mentioned are all of the same paradigm. Even capitalism, all these political structures, they're all an illusion. They don't matter. The people in power are always the people in power. You know what I'm saying? From corporations to politicians, it's all the same shit. China is no different than the United States. We may have more rights here, but those are slowly going to diminish in the years coming. But going back to my example at the bus stop, you see this guy driving along, and like, I'm just sitting there thinking, man, like, I could do a video on this. So that's what I'm doing right here. And it's crazy. And something that I took from the Nation of Islam when I researched them is that they say that heaven and hell are conditions. But yeah, you can have your heaven on earth and you can have your hell on earth. These are all conditions. Like me, I'm like stable. I'm not where I want to be, but then I am so down the rabbit hole with this nihilistic view, I can't see myself doing anything else than what I'm doing right now. Maybe I can better myself a little bit, but shit's done so fucked up that there's no motivation out here in life to do that. Like, I'm not suicidal, and I'm not suicidal at all. But death would be a more appropriate fitting than this life right here. Because even if my life is good, the world is already done fucked up that it's not even appealing to be in any kind of form whatsoever. Know what I'm saying? So while I try to, even better myself, everything's already done, diminished in society. There's nothing really appealing to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to work with people such as, we're going to leave a lot of different, subjects out, but I'm tired of working with certain people, not race-wise, but political-wise. I'm tired of looking at certain people, not race-wise, political-wise. People might take that the wrong way. I'm tired of hearing certain societal norm views. I'm tired of hearing this. I'm tired of hearing that. It's all immoral. It's all immodest. It's all, you know what I'm saying? It's terrible. That nothing's appealing. People will ask me, you're 24 now. What are you going to do? I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. So I've always thought like this, like America, downfall, everything's immoral. Like, but that mindset wasn't initially there as it is now. Everything is legitimately backwards. Nothing's appealing. I don't want to do shit. As I said, death would be more fitting opinion. Death would be more of a fitting, circumstance than living in this, whatever, this is. See, people like me, the modern age has really pushed back individuals such as myself. See, now if this was like 300 or 400 years ago, before, the Industrial Revolution, people like me were philosophers, religious teachers, dukes, princes, theologians. People like me were setting up kingdoms. People like me were having families at like 19 and 20. Like, if this was like 300 years ago, I would have like my own settlement. I would be like a duke, the Duke of New York, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I would have hella kids, and I would try to substantiate myself to reflect that of what I'm trying to make in society. But trying to do that today, there's no appealness to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, then I would have like stuff to look forward to. I don't even want to have kids. Like that's the outlook that I have. Why bring more suffering into the world when I actually have that ability to not do that? If that makes sense. So I've been adopting more of this, this nihilistic worldview from a while, but just now it's starting to set in very, very clearly. So I'm starting to listen to people that normally I probably wouldn't listen to, but they're, as I said, perfect in that mentality. Because to believe in the Bible, this is the mentality you have to have. This is the mentality that Paul had. I am wretched. You have to throw away worldly material in order to receive heavenly material, if that makes sense. That's so when I referenced a moment ago the last true rebellion, what I just said in my last sentence is the whole basis behind that. Is that nothing in this world can substantiate anything higher than what God is. You know what I'm saying? So, I am perfect. I am the elect. Now, I'm not saying I'm damn well sure if I am, but having that mindset would help you develop more of this kind of mindset that you need to have. You need to have this mindset in order to progress, to give up the fleshly things, the fleshly world, these demonic worldviews. You need to give that up, because if you don't, you're fucked. That's just how it is. These cookie cutter Christians still live in the world, but they're lukewarm. They say they're not of the world, but you voted for Trump. You voted for Hillary. You voted for Obama. You vote for your local mayor. You go to the store. You talk about football. You bet on horses. You go to the casino, gamble away. You go to clubs. Then Sunday you go to church. The fuck kind of shit is that? That's worldly shit. You know what I'm saying? You're not giving up anything. This mindset is what you need to have in order to progress any kind of way higher. You know what I'm saying? You gotta, I'm not saying and don't enjoy your life, but just always have this look. Always have this outlook on life. So I've developed myself to keep myself depressed, to keep this mindset, and it's not hard to do with the way things are at this moment in time. You know what I'm saying? Keep yourself depressed. People say don't keep yourself depressed. Don't be suicidal. Don't do that. But keep a depressed outlook on life. Now that may sound weird, but just hear me out, because that's what you have to do. You know what I'm saying? You have to have that nihilistic approach. You got to have that fuck it approach. Like in the 80s, the alternative, movement, people like that. Fuck everything, punk rock. Not today's punk rock, but punk rock back then. They had this approach, they had this mindset. They just didn't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm giving you an outlook to do with that mindset. So that style, that flow, that rhythm, that outlook on life, viewing that everything is an illusion and nothing matters but you and your path to God. Be perfect, because that is the outlook that you need to be. To be in the God's eyes, you need this mindset that nothing matters. You matter as a person, and collectively we all matter because we are children of God. But in the world sense, none of people matter. None of this matters. I don't matter, but the path to God matters. You know what I'm saying? Now, this isn't really a religious approach of what I'm saying right here. This is more of a worldly outlook that I have, and I'm expressing that because I feel like I should. This is my page. I might upload this on all my channels too, man. But I'm not saying hate yourself, hate your family, hate your friends. No, be there collectively and let them know what's going on. It's crazy out here, but this is the approach, But don't be a fucking weirdo. Don't do that. No. Be you, but don't be no fucking weirdo. If you get what I'm saying, like, it's the mindset you need to have, the nihilistic approach, and you be like Paul. That's all I can say. Study Paul, be like Paul. Do what he does, because he's the walking definition of what you need to be in the modern age. That's just how it is. Paul says, I am wretched. Joel Osteen says, I am gifted. No, pick the first approach. You are wretched. You don't matter, but God does. So God says you matter. Be perfect. You know what I'm saying? You live with that perfection mindset that nothing else matters but God. Now that's perfection right there. You know what I'm saying? Follow Christ. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the approach everybody needs to have. But just everything's so diminished that I don't even know what to do anymore. But people back then, man, as I said a moment ago, 300 or 400 years ago, even 1,000 years ago, we were setting up kingdoms. People with the mindset that I have, people who are gifted like me and know shit, we're setting up foundations, institutions. We're setting up kingdoms. We were like rulers. We were nomadic tribes dominating. We were the Genghis Khans. We were, people like that. We were the conquerors. But modern age has diminished people such as us to a weak vessel than what our true potential is. And it's a shame. The dynamic has flipped. The masses back then that were the peons are now the rulers of today. And the rulers then, the gifted ones, are now the peons of this age. It's sick. It legitimately is. But I'm not saying treat your subjects like, if you were a ruler, treat your subjects like shit. No, collectively you work together. You know what I'm saying? Like, if like certain ethnic groups came today to better improve their communities with their own self-gentrifications in their neighborhood, instead of the corporations buying out everything, the ethnic groups in the region of this certain area of this city, like if people buy an acre into a city and then, increase policing in the area to take out the crime rate, and then introduce, people of this ethnic group to improve their communities, like arm them and patrol, set up foundations, clinics, all this shit, that it wouldn't be so bad in these communities as what it is now. People don't look at shit naturally. If you throw away the societal government, like just any kind of modern stuff today, and just collectively, like with this mindset, improve yourself and improve your community, then you won't even really need, a president to improve this and that. They could just rule, and then you, as a person and as a collective group of, peers, can rule, and be in this neighborhood and live at peace. You don't gotta fucking fear anything. So like, that's what I'm basically saying. It's not hard at all. It just takes a little bit of thinking. But people, I don't know. Now, if there was 1,000 of me, everything would already be, in order. I would be the Jigalag of like Elder Scrolls. Everything would already be in order. So anyway, that's all I really had to say. My name's 2 Liter J, RIP Big J, Sacramento Truth Movement, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace out.